A little too much cream in my coffee this morning. Hey everybody, good morning, good day, good evening, or whenever you're watching this. I hope you're able to sprinkle a little good throughout your day. Welcome to Tao of Tay. I'm Tay, and this is my channel where I'm going to be sharing daily meditations, personal stories, not only to bring a little bit of peace and harmony into my life, but maybe there's something that will resonate with you and maybe something that you can take away from it and maybe just ponder throughout the rest of the day. Alright, so we've got our daily Stoic. We are on January 2nd. And the theme is education is freedom. The quote is by Epictetus, not Epicus. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So the quote, "What is the fruit of these teachings? Only the most beautiful and proper harvest of the truly educated, tranquility, fearlessness, and freedom. We should not trust the masses who say only the free can be educated, but rather the lovers of wisdom who say that only the educated are free." Let me repeat that last sentence. We should not trust the masses who say only the free can be educated, but rather the lovers of wisdom who say that only the educated are free. Epictetus from Discourses, and then the little blurb underneath. Why did you pick up this book? Why pick up any book? Not to seem smarter, not to pass the time on a plane, not to hear what you want to hear. There are plenty of easier choices than reading. That's for sure, especially when you're dyslexic. There's a lot of easier choices than reading. Although it's really good for you. No, you picked up this book because you are learning how to live. Because you want to be freer, fearless, and achieve a state of peace. Education, reading and meditating on the wisdom of great minds, is not to be done for its own sake. It has a purpose. Remember that imperative on the days that you start to feel distracted, when watching television or having a snack seems like a better use of your time than reading or studying philosophy. Knowledge, self-knowledge in particular, is freedom. Remember that imperative on the days you start to feel distracted, when watching television or having a snack seems to be a better use of your time. Well, man, oh man, I feel personally attacked on that one. I mean, a lot of us have had a lot of time on our hands. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of us, but you know, a good majority of the people through 2020, we've had a lot of time on our hands. And I definitely picked up a couple of books. I definitely started reading more. Because honestly, there's only so much television that I can consume when I'm actually like ingesting it and comprehending it. Otherwise, you know, I could just stare at a TV for hours and hours and not really grasp what I'm even watching, if that makes sense. You know, if I throw on trash TV, yeah, it's a nice distraction. And we need those distractions here and there. And that's what we really learned from 2020 is like, keep your focus and keep going, but it's okay if you're like, you know what, I just kind of need to remove myself from all of this, and I just need to throw on, you know, some trashy TV, cuddle up on the couch with a blanket, eat a bunch of snacks, and just kind of like escape from the reality. But I realized personally that I did that way too much in 2020. And it's okay, I'm being gentle with myself. You know, I'm trying not to like beat myself up about it because I can't go back in the past and I can't change the time that I spent in 2020. But yeah, I think that I distracted myself a lot when maybe I could have signed up for an online course. And again, like I said, it's totally okay to have those little distractions. But for me, it's like I have to know, okay, when am I needing that like escape and that distraction in a healthy, habitual way? And when am I doing it too much to where now I'm just procrastinating because I don't want to have to do the things that I need to do? You know, like doing chores or looking for a safe job that I can have during this whole, you know, chaos time. But you know, after a couple of months of just distracting myself completely, I've looked back now and I'm like, damn, I could have used that time a little bit more wisely. Maybe instead of watching 8 hours of that show for that day, I could have watched maybe like 3 or 4 and then done the responsibilities that I needed to do, and then the next day you can kind of catch up. And knowledge is power. I know that we hear that a lot. Knowledge is power. Education in any form. It doesn't mean that you have to, you know, go to college or a university, go to Harvard to get like the best education. Well, of course that does help, but education can really be anything. There's so many resources at our disposal nowadays that, but you also have to be careful because there's a lot of fake news out there. But staying in your bubble and thinking that like yeah, it's comfortable here, but then there's not a lot of room for growth. When you educate yourself, you're allowing that bubble to like expand and grow bigger. And these are all things that I want to be, like freer, fearless, achieve a state of peace, because oh my God, have I just been so angry. This past year, we've all been feeling feelings that we don't know why we're feeling them. There's a lot of emotions coming out, and I want to achieve that state of peace. I know that I'm not always going to be there. You know, life is a roller coaster. There's ups and downs, twists and turns, left and right, you name it. But it is so true. The more that we educate ourselves, the more that we can understand the world around us. We can understand the people around us. We can understand ourselves even deeper. And that was something that I really wanted to do in 2020. And I realized that, man, I was just distracting myself for too long. But now is the time when I'm like, oh, hindsight, 2020 hindsight, I can still do those things that I want to do. So 2021, here I am, sharing this with you guys. I'm going to try to do it every day. And that's something that's going to help me achieve that state of peace. Sharing this with you, sharing the stories, and saying these things out loud, talking about these meditations out loud, it helps me to understand them a little bit more. And that's education in itself. And maybe you sitting here, or maybe you're multitasking while you're listening to this, you're educating yourself in a moment by listening to somebody else's story, somebody else's words. And again, maybe there's a little takeaway that you can take from that and be like, yeah, you know what, maybe I've been kind of distracting myself a little too much. Again, everything in moderation. But, you know, maybe ask yourself, like, what are 3 things that I want to accomplish? And what are 3 things that I think that I can educate myself on? Or even just like, what are 3 books that I want to put on my Amazon list or local bookstore list, because we gotta support our local bookstores, our local stores in general. You know, what's something that I can step out of my comfort zone and learn about this? And open, again, like I said yesterday, open up our perspectives, open our minds, because the larger perspective that we have on the world, the more that we can understand other people and each other. And I think that that's what we really need going further as like humanity. We're so divided right now that if we could just open up our minds, open up our hearts, open up our ears and listen and take in somebody else's lifestyle, somebody else, you know, walking in their shoes, for instance. So again, what's something that maybe you can look at and be like, these are things that I was distracting myself with because I really wanted to do these things, but maybe I was afraid, or like, what was holding me back? Why am I procrastinating? Why am I distracting myself? And just being mindful of that. And if you'd like to share in the comments below, please do. I would love to hear from you. If you liked this, or if there's something that resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to be notified daily of these little meditations. And I forgot to say in my first video, Happy New Year, Happy 2021. Thank you so much for watching and allowing me to share this with you. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.